Hi everybody, my name is Britlin and I'm a teacher and new student mentor here at Latitude 44 Yoga Studio. I want to thank you for watching this video, joining me on this mini beginner yoga workshop, and also commend you for being interested in starting a yoga practice. Yoga is such a beautiful way to practice mindfulness, to bring more peace into your life, and it will absolutely help you build physical strength and flexibility. So whatever your goal is or reason for being here, we are so happy to have you and think it will do wonders for your life and your goals. So right away, first things first, we're going to go through lots of things today, all stuff that's going to help you feel comfortable when you come into your first class. And we'll start right at the beginning, which is signing up for classes. So we use an app called MindBody. You can either go straight to that website and search for Latitude 44 Yoga Studio, or you can go to our website, which is latitude44yoga.com, and go to our schedule tab. That will then take you to MindBody, and you'll just make a quick little profile there, putting in your basic information, and from there you can just choose which class you'd like to go to and sign up. When you come into the studio for the day of your class, try to arrive 10 minutes early. This will just give you enough time to be here, go through all the things that you'll need to do, and be able to relax for a little bit before class starts. So when you walk in, come up to the front desk and just let them know what your name is. That way they can check you in for class and let you know which studio your class is going to be in. All that you're going to need in the studio with you is a mat if you brought one, a water bottle, and a towel if you brought one of those. So everything else can go in the cubbies. And then after that, your first time here, someone will give you a little tour of the studio, just showing you around so that you know where things are. And then once you get into the studio that your class is in, we'll go through all the things that you need to know for setting up before the class begins. So, like I said, you'll need a mat. You don't have to bring your own. We have mats here in both studios that you can borrow, and it's free to borrow them. When you walk into the room, you might be able to see there's tiny little white dots behind me. There are those little white dot stickers all around each studio, and that shows you where you're going to put your mat. So you want one of those stickers to be right in front of the middle of your mat. From there, we've got a few things that you may need. We'll start with these little rocks. There's little wooden boxes that have these in both rooms. And I don't know if you can see, but right here I have a green one, here I have a red rock. Now, these are super helpful for the teacher to know if you are okay with getting adjustments during your practice. Adjustments are really light, hands-on assists that teachers may do to help correct your form, give you better alignment within the pose. So, if you're comfortable with getting those hands-on assists, you'll grab the green rock and put it towards the front of your mat. If you're not as comfortable being touched, just grab a red rock, put that in the front of your mat, and either one is fine. It's just helpful for us teachers to know what you prefer. From there, I'm sitting towards the front of the room, so you would be setting up your mat facing me, and you would look up at my mat, if this was an actual class, and you would see some props set up next to it. Props are these things like the strap, block, these guys here. You would want to copy exactly what I have next to my mat. Now, there's lots of props that are used in yoga. If you go to bar classes, there's a whole other set of props there. Don't let those intimidate you, because any prop that you use, the teacher is going to be telling you when to use it. So you're not going to feel confused or unsure of what to do with that. But I'm going to give you just like a really quick run through of what our props are. And that way you just know what they are if someone says the name and maybe what you're going to do with them. So, the block right here. This is a nice cork block. You may see one set out, maybe two for some classes. This is going to be the most common prop that you're going to use. I would highly recommend that you grab one every single time you come on your mat, because there's so many poses where it's helpful to bring the mat to you. So basically this prop, this block, is going to be a place for you to set your hand at times, and it helps lift you up a bit in poses, gives you more space because you're not trying to reach so far to get to your hand to the mat or somewhere else. Second, probably most common prop that would be used is this strap here. So I have it rolled up. If I rolled it out, it would be super long. And a teacher will always show you what they need you to do with this, but it helps you get a little bit deeper into poses. You use it a lot for stretching, and that one's super common. Here, these are less common, but just so you know what they are, this bottom one, it's like a big pillow, it's called a bolster. This blanket here is just a blanket. We use it for plenty of classes, and this one's helpful to use if you have knees that are sore. So if your knees are a little sensitive or sore, or maybe you have an injury, taking one of these blankets, even if it's not set up with the props that the teacher has out, you'll be able to put that on your mat so that your knees have a little bit more padding, and it might be helpful for some of you out there. This last one is an eye pillow. This is just something that if you prefer it, you can put it over your eyes at the end of class when you're lying down, and it just allows you to relax a little bit deeper. Keep in mind that when you're on your mat, once you get into the room, you get all your props set up, we try to be quiet in here, kind of start allowing the space to be more meditative, allowing yourself to be in a more meditative place, and it respects others who need that as well. So, nice quiet space, no cell phones, nothing that's going to make noise, and just you on your mat, ready for the practice. So here at Latitude, we have two different studios. Studio 1 is going to be all of your heated classes. Studio 2 is going to be non-heated classes. Both of them have various yoga and bar classes within them. One quick extra prop that I don't have out that you may want to use in your class if you're taking heated classes would be a yoga towel. So a yoga towel or a mat towel goes across the entire length of your mat. This is super helpful because it's made out of a microfiber material and makes your mat much grippier for you. So if you're in a class that you're going to be sweating, it makes it safer so that you're not going to be slipping and sliding on your mat. So it's, once again, not a requirement to buy or have your own. We do rent them out here for $3 per use. So if you're interested in trying one and just seeing if it helps you in your practice and you're taking a heated class, I would definitely recommend just giving it a shot and see if it helps. So the vast majority of yoga classes are going to kind of move in an arc. So that means we'll start out nice and slow, actually in stillness. The teacher will tell you what position they want you in, maybe seated or lying down. And this is just time for you to kind of arrive. It's helpful to focus on your breath. It's helpful to try and let go of some of those distractions like to-do lists or what you're going to eat for dinner later. Just try and let those go and bring yourself into the present moment. So just relaxing, using that time for yourself to arrive. Once the class gets going, it usually starts off a little bit slower and slowly over time we'll build intensity. And then it'll slowly come down a little bit too. You'll be able to relax and cool down by the end of class. And then the very end will be stillness. So we call it Shavasana. You lie on your back, just like you're laying down in bed. Close your eyes and use that time, just like the beginning of class, to just kind of recenter and get ready to go back out into reality once you leave your mat. So each class, you are totally welcome to take at your own pace. We have a variety of classes that I'll talk about a little bit later, but just best thing to remember is you'll see people all around the room doing different things. You'll see some that have obviously been practicing for a long time, others who are beginners, and everybody is welcome in the space in each class. So if you are in a class that you need a break, absolutely give yourself a break. If you are in a pose that doesn't feel right to you or causes pain in your body, please do come out of that pose and feel free to just do whatever else feels good. A teacher may give you ideas of other things you could try, but in the end, just do what works best for you. Your intuition, what feels best in your body, that's all going to come into play when you're on your mat. It's going to help you decide what it is you need on that given day, and you're welcome to just honor that and honor your own body and see how your practice changes over time. A big piece of the yoga puzzle and when you're moving on your mat is your breath. That's going to be one of your biggest tools, and we really focus on it a lot here in yoga. So the yoga breath is a little bit different than what your natural breath is usually like. So first off, We try to seal the lips for the most majority of class and just breathe primarily in and out through the nose. That right there might feel a little bit foreign to you, and don't worry if it takes you a little bit of time for that to feel more comfortable. But as you inhale and exhale through the nose, you want to try and slow it down. So you're breathing in really deeply, exhaling out completely, and letting those breaths match each other. So inhale is just as long as your exhale. Like I said, this will take practice, and it might feel foreign, but just do your best, and it'll come with time. A third step of that is something called Ujjayi. Now that's a Sanskrit word, and you'll hear it often in classes because this is the most recommended popular breath for practicing yoga. It allows for a very meditative practice because this breath is using the inhales and exhales through the nose, slowing them down, and also including a little bit of sound. So that sound gives you a little bit of something more to focus on. You're less likely to lose the breath and forget that you're breathing deeply. So, to practice Ujjayi, and if you'd like to follow along, you can. I'll just give a quick little intro, and then when you're actually on your mat, you can just see if it starts to come. So, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Just practice building the length of your breath. And from there, you'll be adding a slight constriction of the back of the throat. Some like to practice this with the mouth open at first, and it's almost the feeling of fogging a window and inhaling and exhaling in that way. So the throat constricts just slightly. You're still able to breathe deeply, it's just got that slight constricted feeling, which then allows for a sound to be made that sounds almost oceanic in breath. So, give it a try. When you hear the word Ujjayi, don't let that intimidate you. Just know that you want to slightly constrict and see if you're still able to breathe deeply within that. From here, you're pretty much ready for your first class. We're going to go over 3 poses in a little bit, but this will conclude my more talking portion. So if you're interested in trying yoga and you're here for not just the physical benefits, but also the benefits that'll happen within the mind and your own well-being, a really great way or place to start to learn kind of the yogic philosophy is a book called the Yamas and Niyamas. This is by Deborah, Adele. And this is just a really great way to give yourself kind of an intro into the more deeper aspects of not just working on your body, but also working on yourself. So if you're interested, give that book a try, and that'll help you to understand not just the physical part of yoga, but also what we're working on deeper within. So, in just a moment here, we'll get into the physical practice. Feel free to get up out of your chair if you're somewhere that you're able to move and follow along with me and start to kind of feel these shapes within your body. Okay, so like I said, we're going to go through 3 poses. Our first one today is downward facing dog. Now, most of you, if you've heard anything about yoga, have probably heard this pose, but it's okay if you have no idea what it's like. To get into the pose, we're going to start down on the mat. And a good way to do it is to start in a tabletop position. So tabletop position is just knees underneath the hips and wrists right underneath your shoulders. From here, you'll probably need to walk your hands about 1 handprint forward, curl your toes under, and then lift the hips up and back. The goal here is to have a nice long spine. So, press them out away from you, strong arms, engage your low belly, and do your best to lift the hips up, reaching them up and back. Now for most people, you'll need your heels lifted off of the mat and a little bend in the knees to help you find this shape. Take a few deep breaths here, see how it feels, and then lower down slowly. So making sure the spine is nice and long. You may feel a nice stretch in the backs of the legs and the hamstrings. That's totally normal. And if your shoulders and chest, upper back are tight, that might feel some intensity as well. But just trust that over time your body's going to get used to the pose and it'll feel better and better. Next pose we're going to is Warrior 1. We'll start from standing here. In Warrior 1, we'll start stepping the leg forward and the other leg will be back. 45 degrees, that's the angle it's at. I like to think of those back toes are reaching up towards the front corner of the mat. That's the direction they're facing. And then the front knee and front toes, those are facing forward. Make sure they're going the same direction. Now from here, warrior one, we want the hips to be square. So they're trying to face towards the front of the room, towards the front of your mat. So hands on the hips to help move them a little bit and just able to feel that out is really helpful. And you find whatever lunge works for you. So maybe you're able to sink a little bit lower, maybe you're a little bit more lifted, that's totally okay. Keep sending weight into the back leg, back heel is down, this leg is nice and straight. From here, shoulders stacked right over the hips. Reach the arms up overhead without bringing the shoulders up towards the ears. Engage your core, take deep breaths, and enjoy your time spent in the pose. All right, that's warrior one. The third pose we're going to work on today is warrior three. So similar to warrior one, but there's some key differences. So we'll work through that as well, and if you're up and working through this and feeling it in your own body, then that's awesome. So this is another lunging pose, meaning the front knee is going to be bent, back leg is more straight. Warrior two, you're going to take up as much space on your mat as you can. So really lengthening out and allowing the hips to open up. That's the goal here. So, back leg is going to be straight. And this time the foot is at a 90-degree angle or parallel to the back edge of your mat. This front knee and toes, they're facing forward. Now you want the knee to be stacked over the ankle or just a little bit behind. If you can't see your toes at all, that means your knee probably went too far forward and you'll just pull it back a little bit. From here, core is engaged, legs are working hard, and you're nice and tall through the spine, so good posture. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. Here you'll just reach the arms straight out, and traditionally you look out over that front palm. So, if this doesn't feel good in the neck, feel free to have a neutral neck here. But if it feels all right, enjoy building strength in the legs, opening the hips, and really use the arms to reach both towards the front and back of the room. If you're feeling ready to come into the studio and try out a class, and you don't know quite which class to go for, we've got lots of classes that vary as far as the temperature, from non-heated to heated. We've got classes that vary as far as intensity, ones that will make you work a little bit harder and make you move quicker, and ones that will make you move a little bit slower. So, I would recommend going on our website. We've got descriptions of all of our classes. Take a look at those and see if some of them jump out to you as something that sounds like what you're looking for. If that's not quite enough and you want to actually talk to somebody, please feel free to give us a call here. Anyone that answers the phone would be happy to chat with you about classes, what they're like, and give you recommendations as far as what your needs are. So I hope to have you in class sometime. I'm here if anybody needs a little bit more assistance or wants to chat further. Stop in the studio, come to class, and all of us would be happy to get to know you. So have a wonderful day. Bye.